Hi, everybody. We are here for another episode of Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook, and we have none other than Kelly Cook himself. So, how are you doing today, Kelly? I think
I'm
you're
doing well,
lagging
Elizabeth.
out a
Thanks for
little
having
bit.
me.
There you go. Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
okay.
Always
My mouth going
great to
like
hear.
this, real slow.
That's okay. Always great to hear from you. So last time we kind of talked about iBuyers and what that means for the real estate community in general. And today we're going to be talking about something that I think all newer agents and maybe every agent who is not at the level of success that they want to be at. When should you hire a coach or a mentor, and how do you know that that's the right time? Right. So, if you're a new coach, when do you maybe start thinking about that, hiring somebody as a coach or a business mentor?
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point. I think it's a hot topic right now in the real estate industry because coaching is a big thing now. It wasn't that big, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. And I think it's a big topic to talk about here for just a few minutes, because we don't take the audience's time too long here. But the reality is everyone, I mean everyone from the CEO of a Fortune 100 company to the president of the United States to the Pope, even, right? I mean, everybody is accountable to somebody, no matter how successful you are in this world. And the cool thing is the people who I heard it saying a long time ago, Elizabeth, it says talent wants to be held accountable, right? So people at all levels have different levels of coaching or accountability. So if you're new in real estate or not, but never had a coach, there's two different things I want to address here today. Is number one is if you don't have a coach, what to do, when to do it. And number two, if you have a coach, but maybe you've hit a plateau, or maybe you just don't feel like you're getting the right type of coaching, what could you do then, right? So, from that standpoint, the first one I would talk about is when you're new or not, but may think you need a coach. Let me just say this. I played athletics. I think most people played athletics, at some point in their life. Maybe it's little league baseball or maybe something in high school or junior high. Um, but they had a coach, right? And so that just made all sense in the world when someone goes, "You need to hire a coach," and I was like, well, I don't have the money, or I don't know how that works, and it's business. It's not like football. And then they made that analogy to me. I go, okay, mic drop. That made all the sense in the world, right? Like that just makes sense. The best athletes in the world have a private coach, let alone their team coach. So I think it's very, very important. Now, when do you know? Yesterday, that's when you knew. So that's the best advice I have for anyone on that situation. Go do it now. If you don't know where to go, we can help you with that. If you don't think you have the money, we can have some advice on that. But um, the simple advice is you need to have an accountability partner, okay, of some sort. You are human. No matter how driven you are human. You will fall off the wagon. And then when you get back on the wagon, how do you know if the plan that you have that you're actually following is the right one, right? So a lot of questions around that.
Right. So I know that accountability is a huge factor. Just having a coach that holds you to do what you say you're going to do and what you want to do, holds you to your goals. What point maybe could you decide that you weren't hitting those goals and maybe this coach wasn't working out, this coaching style? Kind of at what point do you know then that maybe you need to switch something up or get a new coach
That's a good
or
question.
go for a different style?
Yeah, definitely. Well, hopefully the coach that you had, or if you didn't, advise you to track your numbers, right? Because number one, how do you know if you've hit a plateau, right? There's something called lead measures and there's something called lag measures, right? And unfortunately, most of us only track the lag measure, which is like the closed deals and the money that you make, right? During your time that you're doing this business. But the problem is you don't know about that until you actually receive the checks and you look back over the months and say, okay, I made this much income for the year. And then you go, oh my goodness, I'm down 25%. How'd that happen? Right. So that's obviously problem number one is you need to track your numbers. So hopefully that somebody advised you to do that ahead of time before you get to that point. But then when you do get to that point, of some sort, and you realize that you've hit a plateau. Now what? Now what? Well, in this situation, if you have a coach, right, you probably hit a plateau. Coaches don't last forever. Why? Because you need to have different perspectives. One person does not know everything, unfortunately. And so you need different perspectives and different ideas. And some coaches, the benefit about having a coach is a lot of them coach multiple clients. And so they have across the country too. So they have people who, perspective from people from other states, perspective from small teams, from big teams, from agents who are brand new, from agents who are very experienced. And so they do gather a lot of ideas to help share, to which if they don't have the answer, they will get it for you, right? So that's huge. That's huge. So the big thing is track your numbers to know if you hit a plateau. Don't wait for the lag measure. Okay. It's too late for that year at least. Okay. And then if you realize you hit a plateau, there are other coaching philosophies and coaching companies out there that we could be happy to put you in touch with. We do some private coaching as well. But again, there's different stages. Now, there's different stages of coaching. Let me hit this real quick, okay? When you're brand new, you should have a coach that's really good and has the personality type of an implementation coach. All right, this is the person that's going to help you get up into business, okay? It's a grind to start your own business. It is a grind, and if you aren't willing to grind, that's the first problem. But if you have that motivation and the drive and determination, then what you need is a game plan to mirror to. All right, a game plan to tap into. So to get that game plan from an implementation coach who's then going to come alongside you and help you create that foundation, right, for your business, so that you know what to do to stack blocks on top of blocks, okay, until you get up into orbit, so to speak, right, and you blast it off in your orbit. Then at that point, that same coach that helped you get there probably won't be the same one that'll help you stay in orbit and even get higher. Okay, it's going to be a different type of coach. So there's different layers you go through, definitely. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like with anything else, like to go back to your athletic analogy, I mean, your coach for T-ball probably isn't going to be the same as your coach for the major leagues, right? You gotta move up. Perfect. I love it. I love sports analogies.
Yes.
They put everything into an easy perspective.
It's so true. It's so true.
So if anybody does have any questions, newer coaches or newer agents or otherwise, can they reach out to you to get some advice to talk about this or any other real estate topic?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love to chop it up with people in the industry and give back in the way I possibly can. For someone who wants a more formal approach, we do offer private coaching that we'd be happy to help someone out if they're willing to have a formal approach, get a game plan laid out, that sort of thing. And that could be anywhere. I mean, really anywhere in the country. So from that standpoint, that'd be great. It can all be done virtually. Obviously, nowadays with most of the coaching companies, everything is done virtually, right? Through phone calls or webinars or anything of that nature. So that's definitely something we could help someone out with. Or they just want to talk, have a couple questions. I'd be happy to try to give some of my knowledge to them as well from that standpoint. Been doing this 14 years. I've sold over 1,100 homes. Do have some knowledge. Failed a lot, which is actually good because you fail faster. You just learn faster, and then you can improve on it, right? And then I want to just talk about one more thing, which I think is very important, is a lot of people don't get a coach because they don't have the money. Okay. Cost is a big thing, and it's true. But you really have to look at it like, I don't know, you're buying a stock, right? An investment. And I know that word's thrown out there a lot, and it's kind of a commonplace word now. You got to invest in yourself. But the reality is when it comes to something like this, that's what it is. Because of the sales cycle of real estate, there will be a lag, right? Until you see the payoff from it. But if you do the research and you have the right coach, you will see the payoff. It is a absolute no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. So I would highly recommend that if you absolutely can't afford it, get a trusted advisor, someone who for free, maybe another agent in your office who will hold you accountable to show up when you're supposed to show up, to do the lead measures that you need to do to hit your goals, and all the things that are part of the grind, right? Until you get into orbit, right? And you can kind of spin around up there with less effort. So I would highly recommend that. But if you can at all, set some money aside to save and invest in yourself, there will be a return on that. And the best thing you can ever invest in is you, right? I mean, it's true. So I would highly recommend start there before you buy a stock of, Fortune 500 company X. That's my 2 cents.
You can't count on somebody else's business, but you can count on yourself, and you can hold yourself accountable. You can't hold Fortune 500 companies accountable. Can't trust them. Not kidding. But you can't trust them to make you money, and you can trust yourself, right? Especially if you've got good guidance. So perfect. Well, Kelly, I think that was all really good information, and hopefully, we've kind of put that idea into a lot of people's heads. If maybe they weren't thinking about it before, now they definitely are. And yeah, we'll do this again next week. We'll have a new topic. Be sure to reach out to Kelly if you've got any questions or need any advice. And that's it for selling real estate with Kelly Cook today. Oh, unless you've got something else.
If the audience has a topic they want to hear us talk about, then that'd be good too. Please suggest it. We'll definitely put it in the queue, and we'll get rock and rolling on it. So.
And you can always drop your questions below as well as we're doing these, and we'll be sure to answer them when we're live as well.
That's awesome. Or in the following week somehow, right? If you want to contact us, right? So, and they can always reach me at info@kellycookhomes.com as well, or 480-442-9868 here at our office.
Yep, and you are in Phoenix, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Phoenix, Scottsdale.
Right. Perfect. All right. Well, we'll see you next time. Bye, Kelly.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Yeah.